Thank you, Dan. In answer to the question of who does that, it's the same guy who has a license plate, car 57. That's who does things like that. As I mentioned earlier, I don't think there was any faculty member who had students who were as successful as those of Pete Rizzi. And it was difficult to choose one of those success stories to address you today, but the person that we've chosen is, what's his name? Tom, where are you? Tom Lambalot.
I guess the end of the unlike Les, I didn't come from an aristocracy or a British type. I started out and beat up 2 decker in the South End. And we cried there. So it would be difficult, it would be impossible to overstate the impact that Dr. Rizzi had on my life. I've got 4 children now. I was 18 years old when I met him. I had started out in UMass Amherst. I got thrown out of the dorms the first semester and thrown out of the western part of the state the second. And found myself down on the fishing docks in Fayetteville. In the fall of 1981, spring of 82, 2 things happened. One is Biffy McLean, who they named this building after, asked me to go up to his insurance office in Fayetteville. And I walked up there during mug up, which was the morning break, already smelling like attic, I'm sure. And then he said he'd gotten a call. He felt I had some redeeming qualities and wanted to get me back into university. So he picked up the phone and he called the chancellor here. And they let me take 2 classes, physics and calculus. I was 18, and in the spring I took a full course load, still much like myself, not knowing what I wanted to do and what I wanted to be in life. And I walked into a classroom on Monday morning, after what I'm sure was a fun weekend at 9 o'clock. And I sat in a class called Transmission Line Theory. And Dr. Rizzi said, you know, when you get just north of 2 gigahertz, you don't really need resistors, capacitors, and inductors anymore. And I said, well, that's interesting. And from there, I found an interest in the subject matter. I would go on to redeem myself, I guess, as a bit of a social condition to start, but I've become, an honest student, and he gave me a livelihood in that respect. So he helped with job interviews. I'd get a call saying, go up and meet with this guy at Salzburg up in Bolton, Mass, and it was, one of 4 in that. Adams Russell, Macon, a few of them. But getting the job's kind of, it's a digital phenomenon. So I was one of 4, one of 2, bridesmaid a couple times. And then about 9 months later, I found myself working back at Captain Frank's over here on Hathaway Boulevard. And Uncle Ralph owned it, and the phone rang on a Friday night, and it was a call with an offer to go work for a company called Macon that Pete had worked to get me, brought me up to New Hampshire, and it gave me a livelihood. So in defining kind of my professional experience, he really created my very existence. So, my wife Debbie, my daughter Lindsay, Lauren, Hannah, Matt, my grandson Grayson, we're indebted to him for that. So, about 8-9 years after that, I got a call from a British company, electronic contact, another revered name in the space, John David Rhodes, commander of the British Empire now, founder of a company, big company. And first time I was going across to England again, I'd never traveled overseas. I went across and I said, boy, Eric Sloan had hired me. I said, well, what do I call him, And he said that if you want to really make his day, he says, he likes you Americans, call him Professor. So I did. And didn't think much of it then. About 5-6 years ago, I was another company that was doing a lot of business in Asia. I get a call from a guy named Charlie Hong, who was the president of LG Innotek, big division of LG. He said, Tom, a lot of respect for you. I'd like you to come across. I want to show you a good time, And I'm leaving my job. So I thought to myself, I said, geez, I can't fly all the way to Suwon to have a good time. At least not this week, Charlie, but a month, and I'll get something on the calendar and go across. And while we were out that night, I was chatting him up, and I said, Charlie, what are you doing? I mean, he got this nice job, big job, pays a lot. And he said, oh, I didn't tell you. He says, I'm going to go be a professor at the Institute in Seoul. And so that's when it kind of hit me that being a professor had something to it. Reverence, make a difference, And I'm just one student. I'm very blessed to be plucked out. I see a number here. Dave Robbins, another colleague I stay in touch with. I'll share one text at the end of a gentleman, Charlie McCarrick, who's down in Florida in Jacksonville's built a nice business on there. We all learned a lot from Professor Rizzi. But I realized from sitting here tonight that I saw him as a professor. I realize now he was a husband, he was a father, he was a friend, and he was a success by any measure. So I thought I would end with a poem by Emerson, who defines success. He says, to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life is breathe easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. So, Professor Rizzi, sleep well, and you deserve it. I thought I would end with a note that I got from Charlie right before I walked in. I think he says, he says, hey Tom, saddened to hear Professor Rizzi's passing. He was bar none the best teacher I ever had. He had a genuine mastery of electromagnetics that he taught in a way that made it fun and easy to understand. He was always using real-world solutions to express a point that stuck with him. I credit him with influencing my decision to pursue electrical engineering as a career focus. He leaves quite a legacy behind. Thank you for passing this on to me. I thought appropriate I would use a wireless device because that's where I've made my living and made my money, and it's a direct tribute to Professor Rizzi.